So, may all beings repay the kindness of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. This is the prayer of the Bodhisattva when seeing someone repaying another's kindness. Okay, beautiful, isn't it? So there's two things here. There's repaying the kindness of sentient beings and repaying the kindness of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And sometimes we see them as two different things. Like offering service to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas is one thing, offering service to our spiritual master is another thing, offering service to sentient beings is another thing. Okay? And what I've found is that many people like to offer service to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and to the spiritual mentor, but sentient beings, I lived at one Dharma center where our teacher lived in a little villetta, a little cottage. And when we would have a course, people were elbowing each other, trying to get into the kitchen of the villetta just to wash the dishes, you know. But to go into the kitchen of the Dharma center and wash dishes, no way. They weren't going to go for whatever. And it's interesting, you know, because the thing is exactly the same. The activity is exactly the same, isn't it? I mean, washing dishes is washing dishes. But what our mind does to the action of washing dishes. Okay? So, washing dishes of other sentient beings, why do I have to do that? Why don't they wash their own crummy dishes? You know, they leave their dishes around here for me to wash. All these cups with crust around them. Junk, you know, I have to go wash them, these crummy, you know, people. And then, you know, but then something that comes from the meditation hall, you know, a plate that we used for offering soak or something, that's a very beautiful plate that had the soak on. Oh, I want to wash that one. You know, that I'll accumulate merit that way. Yeah. And then doing something for the spiritual mentor. Oh, that's the highest of all the merit, you know. So, but it's, you know, what we have to do, I think, is make all of these equal and not equal to the lowest common denominator. Of, you know, I don't want to do anything for anybody, holy being or not. But to realize that serving sentient beings is serving our teacher and is serving the three jewels. Because if you think about it, why did the Buddha exert so much effort to become a bodhisattva, to practice, you know, because the Buddha was once an ordinary being. So why did he exert so much energy to become a bodhisattva and then achieve Buddhahood? And not only Shakyamuni Buddha, but all the other Buddhas. You know, why did they go through 3 countless great eons? You know, it wasn't because they wanted to be superstars and have somebody give them, you know, a few apples and oranges. Yeah, it was because they cared about sentient beings. So, what is important to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas? It's sentient beings. And enlightenment is important to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas because of sentient beings. Because if they didn't care about sentient beings, they would have attained their own nirvana and, you know, gone into the bliss of their own nirvana. So it's because they care so much about sentient beings that they not only, you know, didn't go into the bliss of their own nirvana, but worked 3 countless great eons instead of just 7 lifetimes, you know, to become fully enlightened. So if that's how much the three jewels care about sentient beings, then whenever we do something for a sentient being, we're serving the three jewels. You know, it's kind of like if somebody has kids, if you want to get on the parents' good side, do something for the kids. Why? Because the parents love their kids, you know. And so if you praise the parent, you know, sometimes it goes in one ear and out the other, but you praise their child, oh, then they love you after that, you know? So it's the same way. If we want the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be happy, do something for sentient beings, because that's who the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas care about.
Caring for the others. There was that question about which, like there is the action and there is the intention. And I said at a certain point that the action matters to a certain level, regardless of the motivation. So then the question would be serving others, whether thinking of not, you're serving the three jewels, or thinking you're serving the three jewels. Like there should be a difference. Like if there was a difference in that discussion, there should be a difference in here too.
Yeah. Okay, so your question is because there's a difference in doing an action, whether you have a certain motivation or don't have that motivation. So here too, you're saying if we do something for sentient beings, because we care about the sentient beings and because we care about the three jewels, is there a difference between doing that and then just doing the action because it has to get done?
To me, it should be that it seems like there should be. So then what you're saying is a little bit exaggerated.
No, actually what I'm saying is that the motivation matters very much. And that's why when we do actions for sentient beings, we should think, you know, I'm serving the triple gem, I'm serving my teacher, I'm serving sentient beings, that it all comes together. Because then you're raising what would be a neutral action, like, well, I'm just washing the dishes, or maybe even a negative action, like, beat these stupid people, why don't they clean up for themselves? You know, what could be a neutral negative action, by changing your attitude, you're making that same thing into an offering that creates so much merit because you're offering to the three jewels.